In Fallout New Vegas, there are about 8 uniquely voiced and written companions that you can come across in your journey. Recruit, kill, or just ignore one of them, and it will have some sort of measurable impact on the endgame. Their backgrounds, while integrated into the storyline's wider narrative, also stand alone as individually designed and often heart-wrenching vignettes. But there's no other companion in FNV that I've spent more time with than Veronica. I like Veronica. She's funny, she's young, and also, her final perk is great. But, as you may know, this final perk isn't free. No. First, you have to experience Veronica's no good, terrible, very bad day. Throughout the course of your travels with Veronica, and depending on the end-game location, the scribe will have certain and integrated lines of dialogue. Hitting enough of these major locations, including Camp McCarran and the Boomers Museum, will eventually trigger Veronica to kindly confront the courier, saying that she's seen enough and, if you can find the time, she'd really like to go back to Hidden Valley and discuss some of these new experiences with her extended family. We agree, as Veronica deserves much more than we could ever offer, and arrive at the Brotherhood bunker in Hidden Valley. Making our way into the Elder's main quarters, it is Veronica who takes the lead in the situation, entering the room and hitting her superior with a combination of facts and logic. Really, she just tells him the obvious. Stagnation leads to group death, and after film, she insists, in her own sarcastic and earnest way, that they must expand, branch out, becoming a force for charity and good in the Mojave, ensuring their survival through societal symbiosis. The Elder, while gentle and surprisingly understanding towards Veronica's assessments, even agreeing with her on certain aspects, ultimately declares this line of thinking to be a mistake, dismissing it as a dangerous idealism and telling Veronica that his policy of isolation is dictated from very specific doctrine, forged before either of their times, and to go against those words would mean the spiritual death of the Brotherhood. Veronica, for the time being, relents, telling us it'd be best if we left, confiding that she feels trapped, expanding on her relationship with the Elder, stating that, despite her anger with him, she still sees him as a source of comfort and inspiration. He looked out for her as a kid, making sure she was only mildly punished, if at all, for her out-of-the-box thinking, taking an almost parental role after the death of her own parents at Helios 1. It's kinda sweet, but this, perhaps more than anything, is why she feels so committed to trying to change the man she sees as her last father figure and the organization she views as her family. Speaking of father figures, Father Elijah, though absentee, left Veronica a decent stockpile of information relating to advanced weaponry, all which are inaccessible by and happen to be a direct threat to the Brotherhood. She believes, while her sentiments may not be enough to sway the Elder or her family at large, the recorded words and notes of Elijah may, even if articulated through and interpreted by her. It's worth a shot, and I agree that this change needs to occur, and fast. On our way out of the bunker, we're stopped by these, well, shiny gentlemen here and sort of harassed. They let us know, mainly me for some reason, that while they're already displeased with the presence of an outsider, they are even further enraged by Veronica's insolence, considering her questions to be reckless abandon toward their customs. The confrontation is brief, and Veronica quickly apologizes to me for the zealotry of her bunker mates. Shrugging off that unsavory interaction, we travel to a defunct comm station mentioned by Veronica, which I always forget to discover while I'm at Helios 1 for some reason, and access the compiled notes of former Elder Elijah. There are 3 particular examples of the Brotherhood's current inadequacy, however we focus on the most doable and probably famous of the group, Euclid's C-Finder. Already possessing the trigger mechanism, and having the power at Helios perfectly functional, we quickly travel back to Hidden Valley and re-enter the Elder's quarters within a day. Veronica, now emboldened by our discovery, explains in no uncertain terms to the Elder that this, in fact, controls a larger and orbital death ray, something the Brotherhood, aside from Elijah, could have hardly fathomed before now. This death ray, while inert for the time being, could easily be turned against the Brotherhood and used to wipe them out to a devastating effect. The Elder is shocked by this, denying the reality of the situation at first, but over the course of the conversation coming to terms with this new and frightening reality. He, however, still does not agree with Veronica's viewpoint, refusing to acknowledge the threat's full scope and, perhaps fearing revolt now that the knights and conscripts have realized our intentions, tells us that he is not to be swayed, and he will not tolerate any more pushing from us. Dejected and now feeling absolutely hopeless, Veronica and I collect our thoughts. I tried to get her to keep going, but the Elder's words have cut her deep, bringing her to the painful realization that she'll never be able to save her home, but that doesn't mean she can't save herself. certain she wants to help people and use the knowledge the Brotherhood has imparted upon her for the greater good, she requests we help her travel to the Followers of Apocalypse recruitment outpost. We agree, being able to ask, which I found rather sweet, if she'd still be willing to travel with us upon her new assignment, which, of course, she is. Just outside of the bunker, laser rifles at the ready, a group of Brotherhood knights surround us. They're pretty much done with us now, declaring us persona non grata at the bunker and unofficially exiling Veronica from the camp themselves. There's not much we can do. Veronica's already made this decision for herself anyway, and this intimidation wouldn't have had an impact either way. With this solidifying event, we head off from Hidden Valley for a final time, arriving at the outpost in the early morning hours and walking into the Followers' office. Several doctors, all of different origins and in-game creeds, are posted here. They seem rather friendly. I think Veronica may fit in nicely here. We speak with the attending doctor who, filling in for her boss, tells us that our girl is more than qualified to work for the Followers, praising her acquired and specified knowledge. We only have to wait one day for the big cheese to come back and make it official, turning Veronica's life around for the foreseeable future and giving her a bit of purpose in the face of her people's stark rejection. We head back first thing in the morning. Veronica's excitement clear. She even did her hair different today, I think. But once inside, we discover the friendly and gentle group of medical experts to have been absolutely slaughtered. Their remains, along with medical supplies and other essential items, discarded at random throughout the base. It's obvious who did this, and we find the rogue knights waiting for us in the next room over. They have no qualms over these murders, justifying them as necessary in the face of Veronica's treason and condemning her for attempting to share her factional secrets with these mere philanthropists. Their patience clearly exhausted, they extrajudiciously sentence Veronica and I to death, drawing on their former friend. We defeat them pretty handily, and luckily, killing these specific members doesn't directly affect your reputation with the Brotherhood. Still, Veronica is shaken up by this display of control, spiraling about how this was all her fault and how these innocent doctors' deaths ultimately rest on her. We assure her that she couldn't have predicted the lengths the Brotherhood would have went to sequester her, telling her that she can't blame herself in the face of such incomprehensible tragedy. She knows this, in her heart, yet this is going to stick with her forever. She's without a home and without a cause, and with that, we gain the Veronica Rebel Without a Cause perk, which doubles her rate of punching, and I also believe the damage output from it too. I don't know, it's kind of unclear on the wiki. And that's Veronica's no good, terrible, very bad day. Veronica has countless ways she ends up in the wider narrative. However, completing this quest, despite its outcome, is a major part in helping her find peace, no matter how destiny shapes the Mojave. Hope you have a good day. For Veronica's